Welcome everyone to the TM Talk 7, the Global Odyssey English version. So as I discussed before with the last episodes, here we are going to explore more about the case studies which happen in the companies, especially the global level companies, in their journey, in their innovation journey. So how they overcome these challenges and new management styles that they come up with those obstacles. So these things we are going to sharing in with this episode. So stay tuned with me because today it's another fascinating and inspiring and somewhat cautionary there for you. So today's story is all about Uber's groundbreaking innovation. It's all about self-driving cars. So it's a huge investment from the Uber's perspective. And at the same time, in this episode, in this story, we are going to explore more about how the safety first and how the safety precautions work in this kind of situations, in this kind of products, and especially in this industry. I believe most of the people are aware about this brand before, or maybe heard before about this brand. But if you're not aware, or if you're not knowing about this brand, I will give you a simple, brief introduction in the next few minutes. But this journey also highlights the responsibilities and at the same time, how Uber had to face challenges with this incident. So stay tuned with me for more exploring about today's story. Okay. This section is for the people who did not hear about this brand before, the company before. So I will give you a brief introduction about what is Uber. So Uber, it started in 2009 as a simple solution to connect people with rides at the touch of a button. So this model, the Uber's model, disrupted traditional taxis industry, evolving into a tech-driven service that is now available worldwide. Pioneering what we call on-demand economy, because it's a concept where consumer demand is instantly matched with the supply. Uber, what did they do? Uber didn't stop at ride-hailing. It expanded into food delivery, freight, and more. But by 2015, Uber was eyeing the next frontier, autonomous vehicles. They saw autonomous as a way to cut down operational costs and reduce human error, making rides more safer and more cheaper. Look into how Uber made this dream reality, how they dream about the autonomous vehicles and how did they achieve that target. So to make autonomous driving a reality, Uber launched its Advanced Technologies Group, ATG, what we call as. This is a research division devoted to building a self-driving vehicle. So ATG became Uber's R&D. You know about this R&D concept, research and development powerhouse. It's not only partnering with Uber, and it's partnering with, at the same time, with the auto companies like Volvo and Toyota to create customized autonomous fleets. What Uber did was, Uber invested millions into this team, betting that self-driving technology would lower costs by eliminating the need for human drivers, reduce accidents, scale up its service quickly. So here I want to add a simple concept which is called Moore's Law and the technology acceptance model into this scenario. So let's see how it works in this Uber's case study. In simple terms, Moore's Law, it suggests and it means technology becomes faster, more powerful and cheaper at a very rapid pace. So this principle has driven, especially with the tech industries, to innovate continually, allowing companies like Uber to envision high-tech solutions like autonomous vehicles that were once considered futuristic. Okay, then let's come into the technology adoption lifecycle. So this is kind of a model which explains how different groups adopt new technology in stages. It begins with the innovators phase. As you can see, people or maybe companies, they are excited to try new things. And even then moves through early adopters stage, early majority, late majority, and finally laggards. And each group, each stage, they have different motivations and levels of risk tolerance, which means that bringing a new technology to the market, like self-driving cars here, involves catering to each group's needs over time. So Uber's early entry into autonomous vehicles technology placed it among the innovators, while the eventual broad market rollout would aim to reach the early majority as the technology becomes more mainstream and accepted. So here in Uber's advanced technological group, what they used for their advancement technologies, let's see. So ATG used LiDAR, radar, and cameras and special ML algorithms to sense and navigate the environment. So in order to differentiate the movement, the pattern between the pedestrian and other objectives, we need to use some concepts like object recognition and the pattern analysis. So for an example, in object recognition, we have some cameras and sensors that use from ATG, the Advanced Technological Group, but the system identifies the shape and the features unique to humans, like the upright form and arms, their legs, and algorithms trained with large data sets of images can distinguish people from objects like cars, bicycles, or street signs based on these unique shapes and proportions. The second important thing is movement pattern analysis. In here, obviously, pedestrians, they are moving differently compared to vehicles or static objects in the road. So they change their direction, their speed, their position, and in less predictable ways. By tracking movement patterns, the system can recognize the pedestrians based on their walking, irregular paths, and frequent stops, setting them apart from vehicles that generally follow a consistent direction or consistent speed. The other important thing is about the thermal imaging. In low light conditions, the thermal and the infrared sensors can detect the heat signature of humans, providing some additional layer to ensure the systems accurately differentiates pedestrians from other objects like trees or maybe poles. The next thing is about why autonomous vehicles and what is the vision of Uber and what are the challenges they had to face. As I discussed before, why did Uber focus more on autonomous vehicles? Besides the operational cost, as we all know, it reduces our operational cost and we don't need to pay much to the drivers. It's all okay. But besides this operational cost, the company hoped to decrease the human error in driving, a cause of over 90% of road accidents globally. Just imagine a world where Uber's cars could predict, avoid, and even communicate to ensure safer rides. But autonomous tech is not just about creating safer streets, it's also about scalability. Because with no drivers to pay, Uber could potentially offer more affordable rates and quicker pickups, benefiting both Uber and riders at the same time. So here I want to give some theoretical explanation into this practical thing. In this case, actually, within their Uber's innovative journey, they have some aggressive approach. Likewise, in the world, we are having tons of companies, and some of them are risk aversion, and some of them are risk taking, in innovation especially. In risk aversion, which means preferring options that minimize risk, even potentially lower rewards, maybe risk averse individuals or companies prioritize safety and stability. So they are going to avoid some situations with uncertain outcomes to protect themselves from potential losses. But at the same time, the risk-taking companies, their willingness to embrace uncertainty for the chance of a higher reward, because risk takers almost and every time they're going to accept that there's a possibility of loss, but focus on the potential gains. Especially the entrepreneurs, for instance, they're often risk takers. They're investing time, they're investing money, and they're investing the resources, human resources, into new ideas with the belief that their venture may yield high returns in future. So let's see what happened in Arizona in 2018. In 2018, an Uber ATG vehicle struck a pedestrian in Tempe, Arizona. This was the first fatal accident which was involving with a self-driving car in the world. Investigators discovered that the software system of the Uber, the ATG Uber vehicle, the autonomous vehicle, failed to identify the pedestrian who was walking from outside of a crosswalk. And at the same time, the onboarding driver was not having a full attention with the ride at that time. So now, let's watch the clip that summarizes all the things that what happened in year 2018 in Tempe, Arizona. As you watch this, now I have a question for you all. Is that impact for your perspective of the autonomous vehicle in the world? Would you trust an autonomous car? Is still for your daily commute? Okay, let's see why did this happen and what are the factors behind this incident. Investigators mentioned in this case study, this revealed two main issues. Number one, the system's limitations in detecting unexpected obstacles outside marked paths. And the second, the human factor. The software was tuned to prioritize other vehicles on the road, not pedestrians outside the crosswalks. Meanwhile, the safety driver was distracted, underscoring the reliance on human oversight even in semi-autonomous system. Semi-autonomous system, we can say it has an integration of hardware, software, and also human intervention. So let's see, after this incident happened, how Uber's response was. Uber's response, the safety-first approach. So after this incident, Uber halted its testing program and reassessing its approach to autonomous safety. They made a series of changes, including updating softwares to improve pedestrian detection and setting stricter rules for safety drivers and working with the National Transportation Safety Board to understand how to avoid future incidents and accidents. So this approach reflects a shift from a growth-centric focus to a safety-centric mindset. So what can we take from the today's episode? The Arizona incident offers critical insights and at the same time, some responsibility that was driven with the innovation process. As Uber continues their journey, what do you think about your personal experience, about your industry, about your workplace? How do we handle the innovation process? Are we moving without proper checks? Or maybe balances? Or maybe without responsibilities in our own industries, in our own workplaces? What do you think? So with that question, that's all about today's episode. I believe you gained a lot of information about this incident and hope you all enjoy with this episode today. So stay tuned with us with Team Talk 7 for more insightful stories and case studies for future. Thanks for watching.